which is the objective part of this. This is kind of like a tested and true way of guiding a team through change to come out on the other end with agreement on what our goals are, clear strategies for how to get to them, and then the action. So when you break this down, what does this really mean? This means we're going to spend the day working on our goals together at a holistic level and then break it down to strategies that correspond to each of our circles. So your circle goals should feel like they have a clear strategy towards obtaining the goal for the community. And then for the rest of our week, we'll drop down into the roles so that we map our goals to those strategies, make sure that the essential pieces are filled, so that we have clear actions and we know what we're doing when we leave here to support the community's mission. So I kind of wanted to just bring us all into that space here first. Where are we right now? We identified some awesome values yesterday and put that together. So from our work yesterday to come up with our shared values, we're going to do some work on our goals today. Chris is going to handle that part for us.
Yeah. So it's exactly as Danny said. Like we start with these goals, with these values. So this great exercise that we did yesterday, and all of the goals of Giveth should be linked to these values. Not every goal that we think of are gonna link up with all the values that we believe in, or we're not maybe gonna associate them with all the values that we talked about yesterday. But if what we do, if we believe what we do, it would make sense that these kind of line up. Goals just make it a little bit more practical. So the next point I wanted to say is, but Danny actually already said it, but it's good to repeat it anyways. It's like for when we have clear goals of what Giveth stands for, overall goals, but also like per circle. We're gonna do the roles meeting later, and it's an really important fact and element that if you have a specific role that you fill in a specific circle, that you really think to yourself, like, is what I'm currently doing and is this role I'm filling and what I'm doing this week or this month, is it actually filling one of the goals that we discussed and that we agreed on? So that's just a really, really important one. It all ties up together. So what I wanted to start with is just do a quick round, and so we have a bit of an idea and we have stuff written out about like what is the goal of Giveth. But so what I would propose to do is that we just do check of everyone. Oh, first question, is there anyone who volunteers to take notes for this session? Yeah? Like, yeah? Okay, cool.
Chris, can you
Delete what?
on the corner?
That's the password.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Why are you kidding me?
Oh. Because we're live streaming it?
Yeah, of course.
Why is it bad to?
Because
We can
everybody
get
can use it.
Yeah, probably people
Oh,
around the corner are watching the live stream.
But of course we change it now.
As we will.
Everybody here has it anyway. Like.
Okay,
Why would it
it's gone.
matter?
Security.
So the proposal is that we just go around to just like sense, like if you think of what is the goal of Giveth for you, it can be like even some of the things that you think about in the circle, or it can be the overall goal of Giveth. So I answered this one from Rome. And we write some of these down, and I'm really bad at writing.
Oh, can I write for you?
Oh, that would be amazing.
You know how bad I am. So I'm just going to read them out loud again, the main values that we said yesterday.
And
So like,
you want me to write down like exactly what you're saying?
no, not what I'm saying, like when we do, and not even this, just like when we do the Torah of like what people see as the goals of Giveth. So just to inspire you, we said yesterday, we are about community. So we are about respect, love, and empathy. We're about justice and fairness. We're about innovation and evolution, maybe even revolution for some. Openness and inclusion, collaboration and diversity, and Ubuntu connection, regenerative stewardship and harmony. So these are like the most powerful words that came up yesterday. So these are the values that we stand for. If you now think of like, okay, this is what I believe in, this is what I want to achieve in the world. Now think of what you know that Giveth is already doing and try to say in your own word, like, to me, this is the goal of Giveth. And there are no wrong answers because this is our lunar phase. So, who wants, Danny? What do you think is the goal of Giveth?
To provide tools that put the power in the people to affect change in their own hands.
Tools that put the power in the people to affect change.
Yeah. Say that.
Okay.
I like our tagline, just building the future of giving. It's like, it's a solid tagline. And I think the main goal, at least for me at least,
Is building the future of giving.
yeah, changing the fucked up, donation system.
So changing the donation system. Oops.
I will add that we should also build the future of receiving.
Oh.
The future of receiving.
Oh, yeah.
Giving and receiving. Because in my view, you need to focus on both sides of the question, the end-to-end flow of giving.
Okay, you say a little bit more about that. Is the goal? What is? What
I'm
does
trying
that
to
mean?
construct it also for myself.
Don't let her assault.
But
No. Oh, I just understand. I don't know. Okay.
no, I mean, because when we talk especially about the commons, about new circular economies, that you are putting value into system, but the system is also being regenerating by itself, it's being transformative, but you also need to teach somehow or give tools to people on how to receive stuff, so they won't be over receiving things, so we will fall into the tragedy of the commons, or
Okay.
I mean harmony, synchronicity.
And giving the people the tools. That's. I think that's also a
We
good
got
element.
tools again.
And education, is that like...
For sure. It's a good one.
educating
Education.
how-
Education.
Yeah, like education, how to use the tools.
Yeah.
No, and not only how to use the tools, what is the new mindset that people need to afford in order to
Change the mindset.
Okay.
Yeah.
culture, call it culture, cultural education on
Other thoughts?
Increase more blockchain for good projects, like to support the blockchain for good community.
Josh, any thoughts, you?
I'm happy with what's going on at the minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, all our goals, it seems like I always want to paint this picture in these discussions that we are so many different entities and having so many different, so we have the community, we have the development, we have the operation of this funding platform and the future and the common stack, so these all have their own goals in a way. Like the goal of Giveth, the donation application, would be to have enable crowdfunding for the world, right? Like without taking a cut,
Mm-hmm.
without a whitelist or anything, which is hard because this conflicts with our some other stuff we want to be careful about or want to be like not put the risk on. The DSC doesn't want to have the risk of so these can conflict. So I would say as the goal for the DAP, we have an open donation platform for the world. In terms of like the community, we would like to have, this is like a infinite game. It's just about making better finding the tools, how we can digitally organize, make some of them ourselves, focus on the very big things that we think are important to form new systems. So the DEC is an infinite game. That's a very
Okay, because yeah, an infinite
but to
game.
put it in goals.
Infinite is a difficult goal.
So
of
the
course.
goal is development. The
Yeah.
goal is development and improvement of the DAC, I would say. The goal of the DAP is the global donation platform. Something else?
Well, sorry.
Go ahead.
You're kind of talking about like the divergent goals across many sectors with the shared goal of regeneration of it or improvement of
Yes, yes.
something, yeah? So
They're already there though. So like try to go more because this is all good what I see. It's just maybe for us to clarify, it might be interesting to see those. We can merge them or we can see them as different entities and might
Yeah, so
so
we're going to go in the circle goals later. So that's going.
that's
I have-
the next one, yeah.
consistency being the
I have a goal I wanted to
Sure.
suggest. What about like enabling people to have lives where like work doesn't feel like work? And I think that that's like something that we're all trying to, especially with us, right? Like where work is fun for us, but our platform also, I think, yeah.
There's this thing, it's in a manifesto where it's about, they call it making a livelihood while doing what you
Yeah.
are supposed to do or
Yeah.
whatever.
Enabling
Making a
Purposeful
livelihood while,
livelihoods.
Huh?
Enabling purposeful livelihoods.
Okay, cool. Enabling,
Or
Purposeful.
It is all. It's also in this thinking of generative creation of value. Like that's why the livelihood. It means like you won't get like you don't. Your goal is not to get rich or you know the plus profit, the surplus profit.
I'm gonna say making a livelihood while having fun and living your purpose.
nice.
Sure.
So is that like
And this, when I do this, I'm just saying like
Make it up.
raising this, you know,
Mhm.
developing.
But also like everybody should be able to secure a livelihood. That's like one of our I think.
For all.
so is that enabling abundance? Is that similar to that in the world?
No.
For me, it's like, it's really connected to this fun and like purpose and doing what you want and are meant to be doing thing. Because you could be enabling abundance. Sorry, I'm totally solaring right now.
Totally what?
I
Solaring.
did it too. I want to say something about cultivating regenerativity, cultivating regenerative communities around our causes.
Mm-hmm.
The DAP is a place where the tool is to store value or move value through it for
So
a
what about
community.
like cultivating regenerative dynamics? This one?
I like the communities because we're focusing a lot on the humans. The idea is that the systems disappear a bit in the back, and we're focusing on making enabling communities to regenerate around stuff around causes. So, yeah.
To
Yeah.
store and exchange value, like I would like that's.
Regenerative communities. Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I would say we try, or our design focuses on enabling this, because you cannot really, we don't coerce their
Yeah, and I
communities
also
or tell
feel
them
like-
how to do their stuff, like, but it should be shaped in the tools you give them.
I want to see around causes on that,
Yeah.
like
Building
yes,
regenerative
regenerative communities, but
around
specifically
causes.
around
Around
the
causes.
causes.
Yeah.
Like
And what about like enabling, facilitating, making it easy? Is that one of the goals? Making it
Yeah,
easy?
eh,
Around causes?
It's also like bringing down barriers.
I'm gonna-
I mean,
You
so-
didn't like the
We're gonna do
enabling?
that. I'm gonna put
well,
that in.
if so, I'm just thinking about, is that a goal of Giveth? Do we have strategies and actions for making it easier for people?
Yes.
Well, our DAP, the
mean-
common stack. I think most of the things we're doing are making it easier, right?
I mean, they're a bit complex, but we always try to.
Not as
improve them in
complex
this
as the
way.
banking system.
Right?
I
It
was
is
also
hard.
thinking of everything, all our how can you say this? Document how decentralized governance can make juster systems.
Maybe like modeling
Yeah,
the documents.
modeling governance Modeling decentralized governance is probably
Because that definitely implies documenting and
for sure, and it applies experimenting and documenting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
dog fooding. I mean, I don't know if that's a goal. I guess it's a value or something, but
Well, the goal is like it's a it
It's a
brings us.
design philosophy, I'd say, or
Yeah.
a modus of operation.
Well, it's like if we say that it's a goal to document and to model, then we will do it. That's the thing. Then we can say in the roles we need a role to help us with the documenting and with the experimenting. So the goals are more tangible, and all of these are very tangible. But,
We use
Well,
our
we're
own
getting-
tools and show our work.
Michael, did you?
Yeah, I have one. It's kind of almost like a mission statement, but
that's fine.
so building a more equitable or just donation governance system for a better tomorrow.
Building a more equitable donation system.
Yeah, equitable or / just donation governance system
Okay.
for a better tomorrow.
And I noticed we're getting kind of specific and solar. We also filled up our sheet. How are we doing on time? Do we want to move on to the next?
I think we can move on to the next. But the problem is that my computer screen just like is off, although my computer is on. Do you have the notes? I'm like a bit lost.
I think we all have them up. I definitely have them up.
Right. Here you go.
More equitable
Okay.
and just donation system?
Yeah, donation system
Oh, right, this one.
for a better tomorrow.
Okay, so I think that's that what I was thinking of doing just quickly now is to say what we have on our website as our explanation of what Giveth does. So I just wanted to read that out loud for a second. So it says that Giveth is a community of makers building the future of giving. And then it says we're a galaxy of initiatives to drive blockchain for good. We are a community focused on making the world a better place through the use of blockchain technology. Our flagship product, the Giveth donation application, is striving to bring new governance models into the nonprofit space. We created the Giveth Galaxy to foster a larger network of organizations that will help us build the future of giving. We envision a truly decentralized one. And then it goes into the different circles. So does what I just said, is that, are there some things in there that you heard like, oh, that's not who we are, or it doesn't make sense? Does it capture most of the things that we now listed in the goals? Are there some things that are missing?
I feel like I need to see it or hear it again. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. my
No,
attention is
I get
not-
that.
What we don't have here, and which, I mean, okay, we have enabled crowdfunding for the world, but I really hate making the world a better place. Like when reading through stuff like every handbook or mission statement or whatever that is in technology, they always fucking want to make the world a better place, and it doesn't matter.
Printed
if
on the side of the
like,
Computer
yeah.
History Museum. Right.
And you know, it's really an effect of what you're doing. So it's nice of you to assume that you're making the world a better place, but you're just assuming. And it's really also, it's just so. So that would be the only thing that.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
also implies
Good point.
a degree
I want to piggyback
Danny,
on that a
go
little
ahead.
bit, because I agree with you, and I think there's something really important about, in the world today, we've done so much to help people understand leave no trace, and like pick up after yourself, but kicking that up a notch into leaving a place better, is there another way you can, because I think that's what the
Yeah.
intention is, when we say we want to make the world a better place.
We're bettering the place.
We're saying we want to leave,
I think,
leave a positive impact, create positive change.
but it's true that indeed most of the people want that. So what I think of how we're doing this is we're trying to change the world on a systemic level, because we're working on getting better systems, many other things that we're doing.
I think getting specific is really great in these instances, and I too, like Kai, am very weary of like this yada yada organizations going, yeah, make the world a better place, and I like we definitely have way more specific avenues that we were getting at that with. I thought something Griff said was really got at it, which was like a fair distribution of power. I thought that was a little bit more specific to what we're doing, and yet it's still like when when anyone reads that sentence, it still registers, oh, that makes the world a better place. But it's not doing this exhausted phrase, making the world a better place.
Right, that, like the reader should come to the conclusion themselves or not. Like if they have a different value set, like a dictator.
Yeah. There are some people we want to turn away.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think I see a lot of nods on that one. Like I think World a Better Place. It's very large, so maybe we should drill that down a little
Is
bit.
it, I kind of wanna write that.
I also wanted to say, because donation is another one for me, that I do think, especially with the common stack, there is a second mission, like, okay, facilitate this easy donation, but then make economies like out of those, like Gus said, not one-way roads, but like enable. I mean, these are future things, but
I mean, that's definitely the DAP, right? The DAP's goal is to enable people to realign incentives around causes, but without necessarily imposing one direction or another. Because the common stack is like, we're gonna attack one direction. So it's kind of like, okay, we're enabling anyone to do this, and then now, okay, we're gonna use your DAP and thank you for enabling us to do this, you know?
I wonder if the term grassroots has any place in here in terms of what kinds of change we're trying to support, like enabling grassroots economies or something.
Yeah, well, there's definitely
Playing with that somehow.
some bottom up going on with the DAP, right?
Yeah.
Like anyone can propose a milestone.
Yep.
Even with our whitelists, and or like restrictions, anyone can propose a milestone.
Right.
So like if somebody who's not on the whitelist is like, hey, I think I can help, you know, Bloom Network or anybody, right? They can just propose a milestone.
Cool.
It's just the campaign manager is the only ones who can accept it.
So let's go. So that's all fantastic input. So we've noted it, and Michael has taken some notes. The outcome of like what is the goal of oh sorry Josh, what is the goals of Giveth? What I would like to do is out of this is work on a new mission statement. I with pleasure volunteer to start working on it, but I invite everyone to comment and to edit and co-create. So to me it's one that I'd love to add to the list, because we have a mission statement, but it's more focusing on the DAC, and it's something that I've never been really happy with. So that's something that we can do, like putting all those goals in there and getting to a text that really says what we're doing and why. The next question that I wanted to get to is, what is the purpose of our community, of our DAC? So we are a decentralized altruistic community, and so now the question is like, what is the goal of this community? What is the function of the community? Is it just an empty shell that like unites us, or that it unites the circles, or does it have a function in itself? So I have, well, of course, it's a community of the people, of the souls who fill the roles. That's the first thing that the community does, for sure. But I was thinking of having some specific goals for the community itself, that are not under a specific circle, but that are for the community. So the proposal that I have there, and it's that's something that we can that I just wanted to get your feedback on, is so I'm just gonna quickly go to the wiki on the roles. Goals. There's a number of the goals that that we have that are currently under governance, and I just wanted to sense what you guys thought if we would move those under the DAC. Sorry, goals. So what I see as possible goals for our community is to cover the basic needs of everything that the DAC needs to function, such as creating and maintaining the basic team structure, conflict resolution, administration, financial transparency, organization of team gatherings and quality assurance, quality control, and everything that has to do with sustainable funding of our community. We all have to pay our bills. So those are two things that are currently under the governance circle. But like, to sustain our community, you need goals for our community. And my proposal is to move to start with those as goals for the community. Any thoughts?
I
Yeah.
see this as I see this as like moving our like some goals are internal goals and some goals are like external goals. So what do we want to internally achieve within ourselves, like as far as, you know, making sure people are paid, that's a goal, or like or having people's roles suit what they're passionate about versus like the external goals. I think it's a good idea separating those.
Okay, cool.
I wrote the definition for this, like the one I showed you, and I changed it also a little bit. So, like, Giveth, I should put DAC here. I mean, it sounds less empathic because I don't use the word community, but I have here, like, the Giveth DAC is a for benefit association. It has like this livelihood thing in there, and that it's like people might be paid or not be paid, but it's always part of the common good. Okay, so Giveth DAC is a for benefit association, managing and protecting the basis for commons-based production of software, especially the Giveth DApp and other blockchain applications that digitally enhance self-sovereignty and the public good. Or like maybe enhance freedom or protect freedom and these kind of things.
Yeah, I think some of the things that are in that sentence now are already on that sheet, and I think it's a mixture, what you're saying there, of what we as a community, about the people, and also external goals. But there are some words in there.
But it's specifically about the DAC. I think that the purpose of the DAC is this stewardship of the rest, which is the rest largely is software development, and I mean there's other stuff that comes with that stuff, and so I would see that that's for sure the main mission of the Giveth DAC. It might have others.
The main mission of the DAC for you is
protecting and managing this the basis for from where the development happens.
So the people, right? Or
which is more than people, it's also infrastructure, and it's also it's the many things an organization needs. But infrastructure and people is mostly it.
Okay, yeah, infrastructure and people.
That's what it holds, but the mission of it is to protect these other things. Like I said, the donation application.
It's a nice way
and
of
that it's
saying
still
that.
being
Protecting and managing.
Yeah,
that's a nice one.
Protecting and growing too. Right?
Yeah, developing and like that's what I said, managing and protecting.
Yeah,
the stewardship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's into the stewardship.
I hope that we can get some kind of growing or getting some kind of, it's like protecting is like, you know, and expanding, sure, like anything that's an expanding word too.
Is
right?
nurturing not an
I'm
expanding
just
word?
saying if it would be attacked, it would
because
be
then you feed
protected.
it to grow and a kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I think of what goes on in a womb as protecting and expanding.
Yeah, and the stewarding is nice as well. Yeah. Okay, so that is nice. So I think for the community is about the people, right? And we're to give it the AC. And so the things, as it says, those 2 points is like covering the basic needs for us to function. So that, and it already says the basic the basic structure elements, but also team structure, conflict resolution, admin, financial transparency, and sustainability, extremely important, and organization of team gatherings. And that's an example of this, is us, RDAC being together here. And that is a simpler definition and together with that summary, and to me it's a bit of a summary, and what I just said is more of like some examples of what that entails.
So you're saying these are the goals of the DAC?
There's a proposal for some of the
Proposal,
goals
yeah.
for the DAC, yeah.
I like it. I know I'm like a very visual person, and I like even if someone says it again,
I can, yeah.
but
Do you wanna read it
but
out?
also
I
like,
need to
is it? Are we trying to make a final decision on this
Yeah,
right
if we're
now, or
analyzing
will
the
it go
text,
into
we
a
need to see the text.
Loomio
Yeah.
It's
to
not-
interact with, or what?
It's the intention is just indeed to propose that and to get some sense of the room, and the outcome would be indeed that like I write it down in like a sort of text, and I ask people to comment and to add it before we change it anywhere on the wiki. The Loomio would be like if it has any practical consequences. I don't think
Yeah,
it
it
will
doesn't, yeah.
immediately. It's more like how we make clear to the outside world how we are organized, because then de facto it's not going to change that much, I think.
So why would we not do a Loomio that says we're changing our mission statement to this as a place to record the feedback and
Sure,
final decision?
we can do a Loomio. I was just thinking like if we start writing it, then people can just give their feedback in the text directly, like this is missing, or maybe this doesn't say it right, and it becomes a working document immediately. Because
Yeah,
it's-
like like the grandfathers, you know, you wanna do the document together, not like one guy makes it and then it's like,
Yeah.
So is there something that was just said that
Yeah,
would
so
be helpful to
what
visualize?
Lorelai said, maybe you can say here, like under this title or the mission, you can say basic needs to function. That's what the DAC is doing. Provide basic needs to function. And that's maybe even also again, sorry, covering it all.
Yeah, it encompasses
Yeah,
a lot of
it
it.
encompasses most of the things that it does actually. But some of these things are that it says right now is maintaining basic team structure.
that's I guess.
Conflict resolution.
Are we gonna have time for stickying?
Yes. Administration. I think we're around time. Administration, financial
Transparency.
transparency and sustainability. Maybe that's two separate lines because it's such an important one. Financial transparency and financial stability. And organization of team gatherings. There's sustainability.
I know, I feel like that needs to be somewhere else, like higher.
Put it next to here.
Sustainably?
Yeah, then you put it in that subtitle as well. I would even like put it here as an extra that it's a separate line. It's the financial sustainability. It's important to have the. I don't mind having the word yeah, or yeah, do it plus. Yes, and the final
But
one is
it-
organization of team gatherings.
It's really sustaining, protecting and expanding the infrastructure and people that that are connected by supporting the them and
No, it's more
blockchain
than
for
that.
good
This
application.
is about us, the people who
Yeah,
are
but
here.
but we do need as a community we do need some sort of like that's no mission like the infrastructure and people to do what like you're missing the
Do you think-
the qualifier.
Input and
Do you think
output,
that's
in terms
part of
relay.
like the financial
Yeah.
sustainability, right? Like keeping up the tool that actually like gives us
Yeah.
value in the world?
Sorry.
Do you think it might be part of the financial sustainability thing, like keeping up the tool that makes us valuable in the world?
Or what are you missing, Kai? What, because you say
No, there is no definition of what it protects, stewards, expands, what infrastructure, what are the people for?
Well, the definition is what are they for? For building for building the Giveth. That's just what we said.
Yeah.
So all of this is there.
But that's where you have to be very. I think that's what we should define.
Maybe you should add them to
Yeah,
enable Giveth to thrive.
I feel
Something
that
in
we
that
need to
sense.
break this out into two categories, like larger, long term, and then like the more abstract North Star, and then you have the Near Star, which is kind of more concrete to understand the directionality of the So like that's a really nebulous kind of sentence, which is fine as a North Star, because hey, we want to protect and stir and
And do you think
expand
this
and
is
generate.
not practical and concrete?
Some of them are, some of them aren't. I'm just
So
saying we need to
it's
kind
just
of
very.
think on two levels.
Okay, because we have to move on to the next one.
But
So,
there, it's,
yes.
I mean, that's very important. That's why, like, so usually these commons they are structured in different entities because there is a platform that is the depth, there is a community, the people that is us,
Yes.
and that we need to, like, there is a definitive relationship between all those things, and it has to be captured in its because that's its purpose. Otherwise, we're just a group of people, and that's fine. We are also a
Yeah,
group
but that's
of people.
why these are the goals of Giveth. So this is Giveth everything that we're building, and this is what Giveth is doing, and this is about the people who are doing it.
Ah, this is interesting because that is interesting.
Based
It's
on the
like-
values
it's like
that are
our-
There is
It's
no
like our
such thing as
internal-
Giveth. That's the thing. There is the depth, there is the DAC, but there is no such thing as Giveth. Giveth is like this is a story, maybe. Okay, you can have a story, but the actual outcome of it is the blockchain stuff and the community guidance stuff and the networking and whatever happens in
Yeah,
in
well,
the galaxy.
Giveth is just, I agree, like, it's all just a story, and Giveth is a brand, and it's a name that encompasses a lot of things, but there
Yeah, but
is-
a brand, in the end of the day, is just, it can be a collection of values, okay, but that's the community too, but a brand is really nothing, right? A brand is just something to...
it's what unites us,
I'm just saying,
right?
yeah, but what unites us is the community to be part of this DAC. I just want to like, there is a third thing, which is the other community that is the people that use the depth.
Those are
They
our
are
users, yes.
They are not just the users, they are actually commoners themselves. Like they have their own commons and they use our thing. So that it's more important than the brand thing. I don't know if you know what I'm getting at. I'm getting
I
at
don't, to be
there's
honest.
concrete things that are in the world. It's the community and the depth and all these other projects. But this
Kai,
is more like the
This
ideal.
is it's
Yeah.
really frustrating.
Sorry.
Can
It's-
I
it's
explain
getting-
it in a really simple way?
Yeah.
It's internal goals and external goals in a cross with personal and collective.
Internal goals and external, yeah, so this is indeed what we want to do in the world. This is indeed what we internally as a team want to do to reach those external
So like
goals.
we
If
have
that's what you
what
want to
we want to do for the team, and then we have what we want to do out in the world.
Correct.
What we want to do personally and what we want to do as a group in both of those quadrants.
I think that's also how I see it, if I interpret that correctly, that this is what we want to do in the world, and this is what we do to make sure that those people can do that in the world.
Lansky, did you have
Yeah,
something?
you had some extra.
Yes, it's. I don't know if it's gonna throw more shit in the mix, so maybe I should shut up. But I don't agree that the community. So at the end of the day, we have our own values, and we want to enable people to be able to create their own communities and economies, etc., and to. But I don't think we want our values to transcend to this. At the beginning, when we are the gatekeepers of our early adopters, yes, of course, we're going to give it to our friends, the people that we can have good relationships with, and then we can enter a dialogue to improve our product. But we're not talking about their values.
Yeah.
For me, very clearly, the values of the people, of our users, they're their values.
Yeah.
And we don't need to get in there, and we don't need to lose time on that.
That is in any case that's not the focus indeed of of this.
Yeah, I know, but Kai was maybe it's hard for me to understand what Kai was saying. Sorry, but I felt like at some point there was like, oh, what about the others?
Yeah.
Not the time to talk about it. I
Yeah,
think.
that's a bit the idea.
And just to give Kai some backup, like, but at the same time, you know, it's like, yeah, Giveth isn't anything, but neither is the U.S. dollar.
Yeah.
Right?
All
It's
right.
like Giveth is a story. It's a meme. It's a grouping of ideas, and that has a lot of power.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to build here. Is this like, how do we organize this grouping of ideas execute on it.
There is no Giveth, it's also the wrong way to say it. There is Giveth, it's just like Giveth and Giveth DAC are the same thing, like it's just an aspect of it.
It's just an aspect, and I completely agree, but I think it's important for us to make it workable, and also for the other outside world to understand what we actually are, because it is confusing. It's like, what is Giveth DAC, what is this? This is going to help us to say, we're Giveth. These are the goals we try to reach, and it's being built by the people, and the people are protected and sustained and stewarded by the Giveth DAC, and they do it in this way. And that makes it very concrete and tangible for people. Okay, and now we move on to the next thing, and that is the specific circle. So for that, maybe we can do the projector, but I'm first going to take a picture.
Yeah, now that we're all energized, we have some slightly more interactive stuff to do. Can I get a volunteer to turn off the lights over there? Oh.
We're gonna do things that the daylight cannot see.
Does that eraser work alright?
And then that light
Oh,
needs,
go ahead.
Yeah,
I can't turn that light off.
yeah, that one is next.
It's got a sliding thing down there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries.
Okay, can I make it smaller?
Ooh.
Okay, fine. Doesn't
By justice, by respect, by diversity. Come. Okay.
Why does that look so weird?
That one is hidden.
Okay.
So maybe before I hand it over to Lorelai, I wanted to say, when we talk about the circles, it's not a final thing, so we can still work on it, but just so you know, there's one point in governance, and that is here. It's still a bit hidden. Yeah. Here, oh, there's a part missing, Lorelai.
It's coming.
Sorry.
What do we think?
Well, this is.
Space between the second.
Why is this empty? Yeah, that space makes no sense. Here.
So it's because it's the page break.
No, I mean the governance circles. It's missing point 3 and 4.
Oh,
I don't know.
that's weird. It wasn't like
Yeah,
that before. I think the projector resized it.
Well, in any case, it's okay if that is off the screen because we
No,
are taking it out.
I think we need all of them. Let me.
But yeah, Lorelai, I just wanted to say the administration of the DAC removed it, so that doesn't need to be on the screen for governance. So that might help
What?
you.
Well,
Points.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's a big thing to just make that be like changed right now. So.
Okay.
I'm afraid. This one just go down. So, what we're gonna do here, can you guys see everything now? Is it legible if you walk up to it? Yeah, totally. Okay, cool. And then we have this one is fine. So,
You can move the text a little bit that way so it doesn't fall off the whiteboard.
is that good?
Yeah, it's almost.
Almost there. Oh no. Any better?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Okay. Good enough?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got these values and this covenant, various like defining guiding words and principles that we've come up with this week. And a lot of this new stuff that we've come up with this week is super connected to what's already up here. And when we break out into our individual circles, we'll get the chance to refresh and revise our circle's goals. But there's a lot that we've already covered in the past 3 days, 3 days. So I want you guys to have a chance to take some of these values, or if there were words from the covenant that you think express it better, you can write them down on sticky notes and just come and stick them Community. I think that fits with the third comms goal of nurturing and growing our community with the purpose of getting more talent in and promoting cross-pollination. Okay, so I took the community value kind of off of here, and I already wrote out some of them, some of the really popular ones, but you guys are welcome to write out ones that aren't in this stack. And there's markers here. Yeah? Does everybody understand?
Get out of your seats.
Let's get up!
Okay. Radio Bender.
So are we talking in circles first, or we're first?
So
This is like, no, you guys are just, well, do you guys want me to read out the circle goals first? Would it
Yeah.
be helpful?
I'll do for me, but if I'm the only one, I can.
Okay, I can read them
myself.
If you guys want to silently start adding them, you can while I read. Okay, so the goals, oh no, it got cut off again. Okay, the goals of the DAP Circle are to create a completely free, open source platform for DACs in multiple iterations, and then to decentralize that platform. They also have the goals of developing a long-term vision for the platform, getting it ready for a wider audience, and then to support enthusiasts, users, to build communities around causes and allow them to get the necessary funding. So that's the DAP Circle. The goals of the Social Coding Circle are to provide resources, education, and support for developers, focusing on blockchain for good, and boosting the Ethereum blockchain ecosystem. Ooh, that's a big goal. Also to create a safe space for devs to communicate their passion projects and recruit help and guidance from peers. Social coding also aims to make sure that the smart contracts we create are well documented, and any project that wants to build out using any of our tech has the guidance they need. And social coding oversees anything beyond basic DApp development in the Giveth galaxy. I've got a bunch here if you guys wanna, bam, just gonna throw them down. Come and get them.
You haven't mentioned that first list was still up there. I should have wrote that on paper.
Yeah. The goals of the governance circle are internal governance exploration, so experimenting and documenting decentralized governance structures within the DAC, like Reward DAO, Holacracy, the Unicorn DAC is an example, liquid pledging. They could be useful for future DACs and DAOs. Improving the Ethereum commons, getting the blockchain, get the blockchain and blockchain for good going. When Giveth runs into a problem like scaling, help solve that problem for everyone and not just ourselves. So this expresses itself by collaborating in various working groups, such as governance, signaling, block explorers, etc. Giveth bureaucracy, so that was some of the goals that Chris was proposing to move into the DAC goals.
and also call it Giveth admin and not bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Or operations as long as
Operations. Yeah, it's not so bureaucratic when we really don't deal with governmental papers.
Yeah,
and everything.
I don't know why I put that word in.
So you need to draw from the part that is on the flip
We're
chart.
doing this for other people, right?
Flipboard.
Yeah, people can grab these, attach them. Lansky, what exactly was your question?
So we need to gather this.
Yeah, and you don't have to like pick every one off of there. It's just like what you're feeling called by.
So like, well, probably, that's why we really need to come back at
Okay, more goals of the governance circle.
But still goals. So.
Overseeing the raising of donations for the Giveth DAC. I think this is also moved into the DAC goals.
Which one?
Overseeing donation
Yeah.
raising
Yeah.
for the DAC.
Making sure it's sustainable, yeah.
Yeah. More goals of governance. External collaboration. Instigate and foster collaborations between other decentralized projects for the Giveth platform. And aid on onboarding projects to the DApp.
Hey Josh, can you duck?
And number 6 is strategy and scope, to lead the conversation and overall strategy, especially in narrowing scope and selecting the audience to focus on. Business strategy. I'm sorry, you guys can't see.
You have moved the first page.
It's actually the only thing I would review.
I think,
So, yeah, I'm missing this.
Yeah.
Maybe we
if
can
you
put.
can add 4 to
There.
it.
Yeah, that's where it was.
Sorry,
If you
maybe
can
I
add-
could just.
Uh,
I
How
think
do I take those out?
just hit backspace. But if you, just backspace and now enter.
Okay, so. Ooh, okay, now we can fit all of it, I think. Yeah, okay, sorry guys, I know this changes everything.
Replace your bats. Replace the bats on different.
Mine went down
Numbers.
there.
Now you gotta move it.
Nurturing community, okay.
Go move your stickers.
By the way, you guys can, oh, did I read the last one?
Sorry,
Did I read communications?
you didn't. No.
What's
Okay,
the
I'll
name
read
of this?
communications.
What's the name of this file? Of the
Goals of the circles.
But you're working a copy, I think, right?
But
Or no,
just,
you're not.
just this here, is that or is it social good?
Just this.
no, I
think it's still.
Wherever it resonates to you.
Yeah.
There are 2, so I'm gonna put just
Yeah.
one just this below.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you don't have enough of the word you're looking for, just write it, make a new sticky note. Okay, goals of communications. To communicate the Giveth DApp development towards givers and makers with the purpose of onboarding communities and campaigns in the future. Communicate all DAC activities of our 4 circles externally through the Giveth channels with the purpose of growing our community. And the secondary goals of comms are to nurture and grow our community with the purpose of getting more talent in and promoting cross-pollination.
I love that word, cross-pollination.
Yeah. And the last one, experiment and document decentralization of communication with the purpose of modeling efficient communication for future DACs. Okay, at the end, you guys can be loud now in this task if you want to.
Well, the problem is we can't see where to stick them once people walk over here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Stewardship.
It might be a creative body exercise too.
Starting to get twisted already.
Yeah, we should have put a twister mat down too.
Okay, I
Oh,
got my
yes,
stickers on.
Lorelai, if I have
If we put,
Yeah.
we can put extra hearts over, or are we trying to get 1 heart per?
No,
No,
lots
no,
of
you
hearts.
Lots of hearts.
Lots of hearts.
More hearts the better.
Yeah.
That has always been true.
Alright, is there a moment and then what you want to do also afterwards on talking whether the goals make sense for circle or not?
Well, I think that after this, we go into like a physical like game break of some sort, and then we go into the circle breakouts. That was my plan.
Okay. Because there's one that I was thinking, and it's funnily enough the only one that doesn't have any hearts. To me, these 2 are communication.
Yeah, so maybe we do a little noticing session. first. It's probably our lunch.
You ready? Let me help or let you go?
Hola. No, it wouldn't be lunch yet. It's 1:30. Yeah, Chris, I mean, you're right. So like at the end of this, we'll just have like 5 minutes of like, hey, did we notice any trends? Are any of them empty?
I think it was just telling it to
Did the food
Danny
come?
as well.
No, it's early for food. I don't know what it is.
These two lessons for them external collaboration. That's actually all the things that Griff does, and they're there because Griff is involved.
Yeah.
And actually, this comms that Griff is doing. So I would
Yeah.
propose to move it to comms. And the last one, overall strategy, narrowing scope, and selecting what our audience to focus on. That's also communication to me, and I do that. It's
I don't think so. That's a business strategy thing.
yeah, but the maybe that one can stay in governance. Although it's
I mean,
Or in the
when the
DSC.
first phrase of it is conversation, I understand how it sounds like a comms thing,
No,
but
I'm not only thinking that, also the audience to focus on, but that's the overall strategy.
yeah.
But overall strategy, how does that fit then?
I'll put stupid shit there.
That almost
Michael?
fits,
Yeah.
for me, it fits in the Giveth DAC as well.
Because I checked
Decide what
the
our
server
community
yesterday
wants to
at
go
3
to,
a.m.
where our community wants to go.
and I wake up and someone restarted the server. I
Griff,
think
what do you think about that one?
maybe-
What?
I don't know who.
So I was thinking, proposing of maybe
Yeah,
moving
I checked
external
the
collaboration,
server
which is
yesterday,
all
so
your scaling now and other things,
I mean, I was looking at that, so.
to use that one to comms.
Yeah.
Because we put it in governance because it's just what we do, but it's actually
Yeah.
comms that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that should be doing comms.
But you are
I
doing
cannot
comms and
access the
stuff,
app
so that's the point.
because I'm really
And then
But-
strategy and scope, that's a bit of a,
but there's like missing.
yeah, I was thinking
I mean,
maybe that
this
fits
was
in
like-
under the Giveth
Yeah, I'm trying to restart
together with the
the-
community to decide what the strategy is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but maybe don't if you're not feeling it.
No, I do feel it.
Okay.
No, like everything is down in product.
Ubuntu.
Yeah, I just
Nice.
switched over to the Dell, and it's got nothing.
Yeah, like someone
This
wiped
one,
the
Griff,
processes, like it's
Did you
the
cut
server
yourself?
rebooted itself.
Yeah.
But that's
Come on.
good.
Yeah.
It's just all the processes.
Is it a bad one?
Nah, it's very
And
small.
you don't have your
that's my proposal.
It's a dangerous hand.
Griff is okay.
It's so good now though.
Even like as far
And
Yeah.
it works, and that's not working.
We have to shave off more of the nasty parts to get really,
Yeah.
no, like the most part.
yeah.
But I feel we're in a good spot. We need to,
Let me just come back.
Sorry.
I snuck behind you.
I mean for me it's bad, like I want to see a broth at the end of
Maybe
the
there's like
Yeah, exactly. It's
instructions
not gonna happen.
No.
somewhere.
But
It
for
is
you
always
it's nice,
for
you get to
production,
keep
I
it
don't
on
really
like.
I mean,
Nibbling
we'll
on it.
try, but man, it's
Do we
hard
see
to
our
get through it.
decision making process
Last
in
time
the
was
governance?
different, we had so many people on keto. Like,
Yeah. Every time.
People
That's the thing that I was
Like
saying.
make decisions and give it?
To me, the governance circle is more about
It's weird, like,
documenting and
doubt it was
experimenting.
something-
Yeah, experimenting is in
Like,
the
really
outside from the
internal
schools.
governance exploration.
Yeah,
Is it
it's-
experimenting?
Yeah. But it's weird 'cause I feel like it's putting
Maybe it's
more
common.
like influence on this the experimenting and like it doesn't really say that like the point is to make decisions like this is the circle that facilitates decision making.
Well, that's because how I see it is that it's a circle that gives the tool that offers you some of the tools, and the decisions are taken by the DTC. That's also linked to that moment that I proposed to rename the governance meeting to the TC meeting, because that's we take the decisions together.
Ubuntu.
Oh, Ubuntu. Yeah, Ubuntu's for all of them. Like,
So maybe if you make
Mix match.
do you want to talk more about? Maybe you want to first talk about the hearts, but maybe
Yeah,
can
like,
make a proposal before we do that breakout.
I'm not ready to make
I
proposals
don't
yet.
know who like restarted.
Okay.
which
Are you guys still harding?
I'm still working a little bit.
You're what?
I just sent like
I'm
a
still
message.
looking.
I don't
Okay.
know if it's the.
How are we doing on time? It's 1:40. I do think we should. Can we finish the Harding in the next 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who else needs a couple more hearts? You wanna write a few more?
Cool. I'm so excited to refresh the goals. Like, there's so much I see missing.
Yeah, justice hardly gets up there.
Yeah. I really appreciate Chris's like DAC goals conversation because I think so much of like what there's so much that goes unspoken about like how we work together and like creating non-compulsory work environments. I feel like that's a huge like goal of Giveth and the fun and passion thing. And I see that all up on this covenant. Every meeting is optional and that it's nowhere in our goals. So can y'all share with me, with us, some things, like any things you've noticed in this exercise? Are there like goals up there that didn't have a lot of hearts, or are there values that were really hard to connect to the goals? Any reflections on the exercise?
I definitely think justice is pretty low on the list. Like it's not really represented in our goals.
Yeah.
And I also noticed that our regeneration, donation and funding is like down there in goal number 4 of one circle.
Yeah, it's small.
Which one is small? Sorry.
Number 4, giveth donations, so our regenerativity aspect, which is really important to us all in probably more places than goal number 4 of the governance circle.
For sure.
I also see it in improving Ethereum Commons. Like when Giveth runs into a problem like scaling, we help solve that for everyone, not just ourselves.
Yeah.
There's a little regeneration, although, but I agree with your point on donations, like we need more sustainability throughout.
Yeah.
Are here because when I start this
What
networks,
about
that are
Gus?
in
Did
the
you
folder,
notice anything?
it starts from block like 100.
Something that caught my attention, you mean? Nothing to remark, to be honest.
That's okay.
Community's up there a lot.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there was a strong community vibe throughout the whole thing.
Community, collaboration, openness, yeah. Josh, anything from you?
Nothing particularly cool. Like I noticed a lot of crossover in everything, and it kind of all feels like the one big page rather than 4 separate circles. But
Yeah.
you know, it's maybe just a perspective thing.
Cool, so like melting of boundaries between the circles, kind of.
Yeah, like there's maybe like separation that's not intended within the thing. It kind of feels more like the circles are they're loose boundaries
Yeah.
between a singular page
Yeah.
of kind of goals. No.
I mean, maybe the circles do get more importance than they warrant. Like maybe they're like good for us to have an internal thing, but we use them in all our external communication as well. And maybe that could be a bit much to.
Maybe they're more of an internal tool.
Yeah.
I think the Unicorn DAC needs to have some sort of play in this too. Like,
That was brought up before, and I said it's a governance experiment like any other.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's like we wire down all these things. It's one of the governance experiments, and I think that's something that we need probably for governance to rewrite a little bit. It has experiment with and document decentralized governance structures. I think the governance circle, one of the goals, how I see it at least, is like for the DAC, they check what exists to make us better at governing our DAC, and that happens in that circle. And yeah.
We ready to move to a physical break?
Yeah.
A little body game we'll do together. I don't know what yet. Danny, do you have one that you really want to do, or?
Well, I know we wanted to, I mean, I feel like we just did get everybody kind of up and moving. The little exercise I had in mind was if we'd been sitting for a little bit, do you want to do this?
I mean,
it's a lunar exercise and we're coming out of lunar, so I don't know that it actually fits here.
Well,
But
you know,
it could be.
maybe then.
I feel like people need a little break. Would people
just take a bath.
would people rather have a personal break?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
Okay.
let's say 10 minutes. And what time is it right now?